Writing. She was the single dad's boss until one drunken night changed everything forever. The office had never been so silent. Every employee stopped typing as they watched billionaire CEO Victoria Hale walk straight toward Daniel Brooks, the quiet single father who worked harder than anyone else in the company. She stood in front of him without saying a word. Daniel lowered his eyes, expecting to be fired after the embarrassing events of the previous night. Instead, Victoria whispered, "We need to talk, because what happened changed my life forever." Every head turned. Nobody knew that only 12 hours earlier, one unexpected drunken night had uncovered secrets neither of them was prepared to face. Daniel had never imagined his life would become so difficult. 3 years earlier, he had buried his wife after a sudden illness, leaving him alone to raise his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Every morning before sunrise, he prepared breakfast, packed school lunches, and rushed through crowded streets to make it to work on time. He rarely smiled, rarely complained, and never asked anyone for help. His only dream was to give Lily a better future. Every extra paycheck went toward her education instead of his own comfort. While other employees spent weekends relaxing, Daniel worked overtime whenever possible. Victoria Hale was known across the city as one of the toughest businesswomen in the country. She had inherited her father's company but built it into something far greater through discipline and impossible standards. Employees admired her success but feared her cold personality. She rarely laughed, avoided office parties, and believed emotions only weakened leadership. To her, Daniel was simply another employee, reliable, quiet, and hardworking. She noticed his excellent performance but never bothered to learn anything about his personal life. Everything changed during the company's annual charity celebration. Investors, executives, and employees gathered in a luxury hotel ballroom to celebrate another successful year. Daniel attended only because attendance was mandatory. He spent most of the evening checking his phone for updates from Lily's babysitter. Victoria, meanwhile, was under enormous pressure after learning that one of the company's biggest international deals had unexpectedly collapsed. For the first time in years, she accepted several glasses of wine just to silence the overwhelming stress. As the night continued, she drank more than anyone had ever seen. Near midnight, Victoria quietly slipped away from the crowded ballroom, struggling to maintain her balance. Daniel noticed her leaving alone and hesitated. She had always treated everyone professionally, but tonight she looked vulnerable. Worried that someone might take advantage of her condition, he followed from a respectful distance. Outside, heavy rain poured across the empty parking lot. Victoria stumbled near the stairs and nearly fell before Daniel caught her. Startled, she looked at him through blurry eyes and whispered, "Why are you helping me?" Daniel simply answered, "Because no one deserves to be left alone like this." Unable to drive safely, Daniel called a trusted female executive from the company, but she was already traveling home hours away. Victoria refused to let security see her in such a condition. Embarrassed and barely conscious, she begged Daniel not to call the media or the police. With no better option, he took her to a nearby hotel, booked 2 separate rooms under his own name, and asked the female hotel manager to remain nearby if Victoria needed assistance. Throughout the night, Daniel stayed awake in the lobby, making sure she remained safe while never crossing a single boundary. The following morning, Victoria woke with only fragments of memory. She remembered Daniel's kindness but feared rumors would destroy both their reputations. Before either of them could explain, someone had secretly photographed Daniel helping Victoria into the hotel. By lunchtime, gossip spread throughout the company. Employees whispered that the quiet single father had manipulated the billionaire CEO. Others believed Victoria had secretly been dating him for months. Social media exploded with speculation, and anonymous blogs painted Daniel as an ambitious employee using sympathy to climb the corporate ladder. Within days, the company's board demanded an internal investigation. Daniel refused to defend himself by revealing Victoria's vulnerable condition that night. He chose silence because protecting her dignity mattered more than protecting his own reputation. Soon, angry parents at Lily's school began asking questions after reading online rumors. Lily came home crying because classmates claimed her father was a liar. Watching his daughter suffer broke Daniel's heart more than losing his job ever could. Victoria quietly investigated the hotel herself. The female manager confirmed every detail of Daniel's honorable behavior. Security footage showed Daniel never entering Victoria's room and spending the entire night waiting in the lobby. The truth shocked her. For years she had believed genuine kindness always came with hidden motives. Yet Daniel had risked everything simply to protect someone who had never shown him warmth. During the next board meeting, Victoria surprised everyone. Instead of allowing Daniel to be blamed, she displayed the security footage before every executive. Then she admitted the truth about her own emotional breakdown and publicly apologized to Daniel. She confessed that while she had built a successful company, she had forgotten how to trust people. She announced that Daniel had demonstrated the kind of integrity money could never buy. The room fell completely silent before every board member stood and applauded him. Although Daniel's reputation was restored, the emotional scars remained. Lily still feared losing her father, and Daniel considered resigning to escape the unwanted attention. Before he submitted his resignation, Victoria visited his modest home carrying coloring books and flowers for Lily. She spent the afternoon talking with the little girl, who innocently asked why adults believed lies so easily. The question left Victoria speechless. That evening, she realized success meant nothing if honesty could be destroyed by gossip. Over the following months, Victoria transformed the company's culture. She introduced mental health support, family leave policies, and childcare assistance for single parents. Employees who had once feared her now respected her even more because they saw genuine compassion replacing cold authority. Daniel accepted a leadership role, not because he wanted power, but because he wanted to help create the workplace he had once desperately needed. As they worked together, friendship slowly replaced awkwardness. Victoria learned about Lily's dreams of becoming a teacher. Daniel discovered that Victoria's lonely childhood had taught her to hide every emotion behind perfection. They found comfort in conversations that had nothing to do with business. There were no dramatic confessions or rushed romance, only two wounded people gradually learning to trust again. One rainy evening, almost exactly 1 year after the unforgettable charity event, Daniel and Lily attended another company celebration. This time, Victoria stood before hundreds of employees and shared a simple lesson. She said that leadership was not about being feared but about earning trust, and that the strongest people were often those quietly carrying the heaviest burdens. She thanked Daniel for reminding her that character is revealed not when life is easy, but when someone chooses kindness even when nobody is watching. After the speech, Lily ran toward Victoria and hugged her tightly. The audience smiled as Daniel watched the two most important people in his new life laughing together. The painful rumors, sleepless nights, and heartbreaking misunderstandings had led them all to something far greater than success. They had become a family built not by chance, wealth, or power, but by honesty, respect, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Life has a strange way of testing good people through moments they never expected. One difficult night nearly destroyed 2 lives, but integrity, courage, and truth proved stronger than lies. Sometimes the greatest relationships are born not from perfect beginnings, but from the courage to do the right thing when nobody else believes you. And in the end, kindness always leaves a legacy that no rumor can ever erase. This version is paced for a roughly 15-minute YouTube narration and avoids asterisks throughout. If you'd like, I can also create a version with more suspense, emotional twists, and viral cliffhangers to increase audience retention.